You are the only one who should be deciding what your life looks like, okay? You are the creator. It's time to take your power back and stop asking others for their advice on every little thing in your life or for their validation on how you should live your life, or allowing others' perceptions or opinions to sway and dictate how you show up in this life. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rosa, and if this is the first time that you're seeing my face, then welcome. It's so nice to have you here. This video is an empowerment video, okay? We live in a world where it's so easy to get instant gratification and validation from the outside world that we're literally addicted to it. I mean, why should we take responsibility for our own lives when we can just give that power to someone else to dictate our lives? I mean, it makes sense. It takes a shitload of pressure off to give that power to someone else to be able to tell you this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, and live according to pleasing other people. I mean, it makes our life a whole lot easier, takes that responsibility off, right? And while it is important to take some people's opinions and perspectives into consideration in our own lives, we must be very discerning and make sure that our number one source that dictates our life is not coming from other people, but rather from within ourselves, and to be specific, the higher self version of us, our soul, as some may call it, or that godliness that lives within us. So again, it's important to be open to other people's views, to other people's perspectives, to take them into account, to listen to them, to absorb what others are saying, but then coming back to ourselves and assessing if this resonates with me, if this is in alignment with my life, with my higher purpose, with my higher self. So this is about respecting others' views, being open to others' views, but at the end of the day, making that final call for what is most resonant with us, for us in this life. So in order to listen to ourselves, to our soul, to our higher self, we must know what that voice of our higher self sounds like. Now, you learn to trust yourself and to listen to your intuition by being mindful, by being present, and practicing going within yourself rather than searching externally for validation. So let's say you're going through a challenge in your life and your natural tendency is to ask a million different people for advice. The practice of tuning in with your intuition and connecting with yourself is, instead of running to another person, when you notice that desire or that pull to ask somebody else for their advice, first challenge yourself to go within yourself and ask yourself, your higher self, what you should do in this situation. Another way that I personally do this is whenever I'm out in public, or even when I want to share something online, but I'm afraid of what people might think, or I feel an urge to ask somebody, is this socially acceptable to post? Is this an okay thing to wear? Little things like that, small little things where you just are afraid or in fear of judgment from other people, is to put yourself in those situations more. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you would normally ask other people if this is acceptable to do, but just doing it anyway to prove to yourself that you are the person that can make the final call. And at the end of the day, it's not as dangerous as our ego wants us to think that it is. When you put yourself in those kind of situations more often, it just gets so much easier to overcome that caring so much about what others think and needing other people's validation. And it also becomes so much easier and faster for you to trust yourself when you do these little things that prove to yourself that you are safe to just do the things that you desire to do, regardless of how it may appear to other people. It's also important to know and to assess within ourselves whose opinion actually matters, right? Because we're not trying to say nobody's opinion matters, that we should only follow ourselves and nothing else, because of course we live in a physical world, there are other people, sometimes our decisions do affect other people, and we need to be mindful of that. And we also need to know who has our best interest in mind and who is just projecting from their own experiences, and we may not want to take every single thing that every single person says to us into such deep account or care so deeply about what other people think. So we need to assess whose opinion really, truly matters to us. Your happiness in life should be your number one priority. When you show up as your best self, when you are your best self, you, first of all, give other people permission to be themselves, but also you're able to show up more for the people that are in your life, for the loved ones in your life, when you are fully tapped in with your truth and with yourself, when you're not hiding parts of yourself in order to be loved or please other people. It's so important that you do live your life for yourself, and I love to add this perspective into my life whenever I'm questioning if I should do something or not based on how other people will view me, is I'll ask myself, in the next 10 years when I'm looking back on my life, will this situation really matter? Like, will it matter to me that these people thought a certain way about me? Like, are these people that I care so much about their opinion, are they even going to be in my life in the next 10 years from now? Am I going to be happy 10 years from now that I did not do the things that I was passionate about, the things that I knew I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be, but I didn't do them because I was afraid about what other people would think about me, that other people weren't going to validate me, etc. So I like to add that perspective into my life to really remind me to live my life in alignment with me, with my soul, with who I am, because 10 years from now, it's not going to matter who the people were around me. And it's like that quote that says, those opinions, what is it? Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. The people in your life who are high quality people, the people that truly want the best for you, the people that truly want you to live a happy life will support you and won't mind that you're doing things that are in alignment with yourself. They're going to respect your boundaries. They're going to respect who you are as a person and support your decision to act in more alignment with who you truly are unapologetically, and not according to how any rules or what anybody says needs to be. This is why it's important to know whose opinion truly matters to us. I call the universe or God, creator, light, whatever you want to call the force, I place the creator as my source of validation. So when I notice that my energy is being drained by other people, or that I'm starting to get too in my head about the way that other people view me, wanting to be liked by other people, just placing too much of my self-worth, my life, my decision-making based on how other people are going to view me, I have to bring myself back in check. And this still happens for me all the time. I always need to constantly be bringing myself back in check and asking myself, is the light my source? Is the creator my source? Am I my source? Or am I taking that power out of myself and giving it to another person, giving it to other people, to the outside world? I also carry the mindset that there is no right or wrong way to live your life. You're either living your life your way or others' way. And again, nothing's right or wrong. Whatever you do, I feel like shame and guilt is the worst thing you can do. So throw that out the window. But with the mindset of there's no right or wrong, you might as well do the thing that makes you the happiest, the thing that makes you show up as your best self. At least that's the way I view it. You're either going to allow every decision that you make to be dictated by you, by your truth, by your connection with yourself and the creator and the divine and your purpose, or you're going to allow it to be dictated by the eyes of another person who isn't even living your life. And most people are doing that, by the way. So it's a hard kind of fine line to balance that, because I also carry the belief that other people, the divine speaks to us through other people. So I think it's really just about being discerning about what you're taking on as your own view, as your own belief, as your own decisions on how to act and show up, versus what are you giving the power to other people to dictate over your life? It's really about knowing yourself. Again, this is why being mindful and aware, bringing awareness into your life is so important, because at the end of the day, nobody knows you as much as you do. So it's so important to establish that connection with yourself first and foremost, so you're able to be discerning in those kind of situations. Now, I want to share a personal story as well, because this is a big thing that I've had to go through as well. And I'm actually working on being more authentic, being more vulnerable online as well. When I was starting this YouTube channel, I started it about 2 years ago or something like that. And believe me, it was a long process and a lot of different fears, different beliefs, different things coming up for me that stopped me and paralyzed me from putting myself out there in fear of what people would think about me. People that I knew from high school, people that didn't like me, people that were close to me in my life, people, just everyone, right? I just had so many fears that were paralyzing me and could have very easily stopped me from showing up at all if I didn't work on those things and work on myself and releasing that caring about what people thought so much about me. And I brought that energy back to myself, and I said, you know what? People are going to have a million different perspectives on me, and that cannot be my concern. I need to stop asking other people for permission and advice on how to live my life, okay? Stop asking people for permission to do something that you want to do. Everyone's gonna have different opinions. In fact, when I first started this YouTube channel, I'm someone who values my parents' opinions a lot, okay? I know my parents have been through a lot in their life. I know they're very supportive of everything that I do. And when I first started out this YouTube channel, I think it was like one of my first 5 videos, they called me and they're like, listen, we love your videos, you're doing great, but you said this and this and this in this video, and I think you're giving away way too much about yourself. I think this is super not good thing to share online. They were kind of just telling me that they think I should delete this video that I put out because they didn't like certain things that I said in the video, okay? Now listen, little 20-year-old me who was so new to this, who was already feeling so vulnerable, who was already feeling like I'm pouring everything that is in me into creating these YouTube videos. Like, I was feeling so defeated. I instantly deleted the video, and I was just like so nervous to create videos moving forward because I cared so much about my parents' feedback about this one particular video. The point is that I personally think that I acted in fear in my decision to remove that video. Because when I watch that video back now, I'm like, there is nothing wrong with this video. And I respect, again, their perception that they viewed that video as maybe not being my best work. But at the end of the day, I should have stayed true to myself and said, you know what? No, this is my life. This is my decision. I'm standing true in the messages that I've shared, whatever I said in this video, and I'm going to keep it up there. And again, there is no right or wrong. Sometimes there's a more clear line between those two, but in this particular case, I just wanted to share this example because I've been through this as well. You know, I allow other people's perceptions sometimes to make me second guess myself, to make me decide if I want to show up in a certain way or another. And, you know, I've also received negative comments multiple times on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram, like the whole thing, right? I've received negative comments from people I know, from people I don't know, you name it, right? If you're putting yourself in a position to be seen, if you're putting yourself in any type of vulnerable position to be scrutinized by people, it is going to happen. But something I've learned on my journey is just that everybody's allowed to have their different perceptions. A rule of thumb that I use, if you're a creator like me, or you just put yourself out there in any type of way, this is a rule of thumb that I follow, that when people leave me negative comments or tell me things that are feedback, but maybe it's like more not even constructive feedback, I would say more like criticism, things that are more negative. Of course, always accept feedback to extents, but when it comes to criticism or just negativity in general, my rule of thumb is if I would not say it to someone else, I do not take it personally. I mean, generally, I try my best not to take anything personally because I know that everyone is just projecting based on their own life experiences and way of viewing life and reality, so I try my best not to take anything personally, but especially those kind of comments or those kind of things or those type of behaviors or situations or anything that happens to me in my life that I would not do to someone else, I don't get triggered by. I don't take it personally because I know that that person has to be in some type of, you know, sad, negative place to be able to even say something like that to someone else, because I understand that people are just projecting. So that's my perception. Again, no right or wrong. I'm just sharing with you, this is the way that I view things, and hopefully it might be helpful to you as well. But realize that that need for validation all comes from fear, right? Fear is false evidence appearing real. It is not real. Fear is made up in our minds. It's an illusion. It's paralyzing us and it's stopping us from doing the things that we want to do in our life. We are the ones that are stopping ourselves, okay? Other people and other people's views on us and perceptions of us, that's not doing shit, okay? That's not doing anything, because we, at the end of the day, we are the people that decide if other people's perceptions of what other people are doing are going to be affecting us. I could say that I can't do YouTube anymore because of the negative comments or because of people have different opinions and I'm sharing my opinion, and how can I do that in a world where everyone has such different opinions? I could say that. I could I could take my power out of my own hands and into the world's hands and say that I have no choice but to quit because of the opinions of others. But I choose that my purpose, that my life, that my desires, that my happiness and what I choose to do in this world is more valuable, more important than the opinions of strangers on the internet or of people that I don't know, or even people in my life that do know, but maybe they just don't understand, or whatever it is. Respect people's views, but know that at the end of the day, you're the only one living your life. We have the ultimate choice on who to listen to and whether or not to listen to them. Now, to end off this video, I urge you and I challenge you that if you have any big decisions in your life to make right now, I challenge you to go within yourself first and foremost, to develop a strong relationship with your higher self, with the God that lives within you, and weigh your options. First, come to your own conclusion, and don't allow the opinions of others to sway you. You can take them into account, you can take them as feedback, you can listen to others and use that as a way to weigh your options, but by constantly listening to the outside world, that's only going to create more confusion. At the end of the day, you create your reality. You make the rules for your own life. Don't give that power away to other people. That's all for me in this video, guys. I hope you got value out of it. If you did, please leave a like and a comment down below letting me know what was the most valuable thing you got out of this video. Hit that subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Love ya.